Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Tuesday edition of the Orange and Brown Talk podcast, a Hey Mary Kay edition of the podcast. Dan Labbe with Mary Kay Cabot. We are in regular season mode here on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. So here we go. Some Hey Mary Kay questions from our Football Insider subscribers. We got some really good questions setting up the season. And Mary Kay, this is the one, I don't know, there was just something about this question that I really liked. It comes from Rod Sauer in Athens, Ohio. Hey Mary Kay, what aspect of this team keeps you up at night?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I'll tell you what did keep me up at night until about a week ago, and that was the kicking situation. I really, like everyone else, white knuckled it every time Cade York walked up to the ball in a game and tried to kick it through the uprights. Now, I think the only time that I would probably really worry about that is from 50 plus, because we know that Dustin Hopkins is only 15 of 30 from 50 plus. So I would have to say that other than that, there's really nothing that, that I really feel they're bereft at, except for, backup running back is definitely an area of concern. I've thought that even at the beginning of camp, when you really didn't know what you were going to have in Jerome Ford. But then when he suffered the hamstring injury and missed most of camp, that's still an area that I'm wondering about.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things are like depth issues, and I don't know if they raise to the level of like it keeps me up at night. Like backup running back I'm concerned about that too, right? Like maybe some depth at wide receiver, depth on the D line after those top three, but everything seems pretty stable. I guess it's just like that nagging feeling, and I don't think this is the case. If people didn't listen to our, I think I called it most concerned, least concerned, and think we're most curious about something like that from Friday, go back and listen to that. That was a really good pod, and I mentioned this. I don't think DeShaun Watson is the quarterback we saw the last 6 games last year. I would actually be shocked if he was that quarterback. I mean, that was like worst quarterback in the NFL level, and DeShaun Watson is not that. But that is still the last time we saw DeShaun Watson play football. So it does, I wouldn't say it keeps me up at night, but I just think, I just want to see DeShaun Watson in a real football game look like DeShaun Watson again. And that would just allay a lot of fears about this offense and this passing game.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I think, I've been saying this a lot and writing this a fair amount as well lately. And that is when I look back to the last 6 games of last year, I don't know if it was just about DeShaun knocking off the rust or if it was about the players around him and his supporting cast sort of struggling to adjust to him as quickly as everyone thought they would. They had spent 11 games with Jacoby Brissett, a certain style of quarterback. He was a very strong and vocal leader. They were all aligned behind him. They were following him. They were listening to him. Amari Cooper and Jacoby were texting back and forth a million times a day about what they were going to do on this player or that player against this kind of coverage or whatever. And then along comes DeShaun with a completely different playing style, with dual threat ability, with expectations for where he wanted you to be in certain situations, on site adjustments and no look passes and different things like that, how you needed to block for him. And I just don't know that the team was ready for that jolt of from Jacoby to DeShaun and how different they were. So I think that was a factor.
I think there was the adjustment of the offense too, just in general. Like he came in and they were basically running, the Jacoby Brissett offense. You can't change your offense mid-season all that much, and it's going to look different this year. I do hear people talking about the Browns, and sometimes I'll hear them say things like, "Well, is he going to fit in Kevin Stefanski's offense?" Which most people hear as it's play action. You're turning your back to the line of scrimmage for 2-3 seconds every play to fake the handoff. And like, that's not what this offense is anymore. There was nothing in the preseason to indicate that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of shotgun, a lot of pistol. There'll still be play action elements, but we're not going to see that Baker Mayfield, Jacoby Brissett, or like what they run in San Francisco or Kirk Cousins. We're not going to see that really heavy, get under center, run a bunch of play action stuff anymore. Like those days are done. with DeShaun Watson at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten to, see sneak previews of what we think this is going to look like. And again, we've seen a lot of empty sets. We've seen a lot of shotgun. Of course, they're hiding a lot on us too. But, we've seen a lot of multiple looks. We see guys maybe like an Elijah Moore lined up in the backfield and then motioning out into the slot or elsewhere. We've seen a lot of shifting, a lot of motion. We've seen, like you said, RPOs, no huddle, all different kinds of things that DeShaun can run really well. And there's going to be a lot on his plate, but he's asked for that. He was like, bring it on. That's what he wants. That's what he's going to get. And it is going to be, like he said, everything is going to be new. Everything is going to be different. He promises fireworks. Let's see if he can deliver.